Todd Bee Show, episode 8, part number 4. Here we go.
Herbs and wellness.
For this part of Colorado, is Garden City sort of Potopia?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Potopia.
Garden City is known for its vices. It was like the watering hole for northern Colorado.
Really?
It's stayed true to that nature ever since.
Yes, they embraced medical marijuana when it came along. It went to 14 different cities, and everyone was placing moratoriums on them. And Garden City, they were one of the very first ones to embrace it and license it.
Embrace it they have. With 45 workers, Rotherham is Garden City's largest employer. It's a family enterprise where Mom, Dad, Aunt Judy, and Uncle Elmer all gather to trim bud.
Elmer.
Welcome to the Heartland.
I used to have an Uncle Elmer. He's passed away though.
10 years ago, if somebody had said, you're going to be in the marijuana business, what would you have told them?
I wouldn't have believed them. It's really surprising to hear your
Exactly.
today.
Really?
Rotherham has had to build a new greenhouse just to keep up.
You don't have enough room to grow the marijuana you want to grow in order to satisfy the customer.
Right now I don't. Over the next year, we're probably going to triple to quadruple in size.
Do you want to be a marijuana mogul?
I never planned on being this big, but you know, you just have to grow with the demand.
Everything is $30 a gram.
Each joint and edible sold means tax money for both the state and towns like Garden City.
That's right.
All of our prices are already including the tax.
Where tax
And that's how we got out of debt, folks.
is levied on medical marijuana already fund a third of its budget. With new retail sales, the mayor says that number will only rise.
So is this the main drag in Garden City?
Main drag.
The blue-collar town is putting that money toward revitalization, offering matching grants to homeowners and businesses that do renovations.
The small things go a long way.
A windfall like that would tempt most town leaders, but not in Greeley. Tom Norton is the mayor.
Have
It's about
a
wall.
community based on a tax structure that depends on the sale of marijuana, I think is inappropriate.
While Garden City cashes in, Greeley has decided the wages of sin just aren't worth the trouble.
When you look at Garden City, does it worry you that
this
they're
guy
right
again.
down the street?
It troubles me that there's that much marijuana for sale.
You're old school,
One of the things
dude.
that we've heard quite a bit
You're old
lately
school.
is that marijuana is no worse than alcohol. Okay, I'll give you that, but I've already got one legal intoxicant out here that's causing all kinds of problems in society. Now I'm going to have another one out there. So what kind of mayhem is that going to cause?
There are people who would listen to what you had to say, and they'll say, that old chief, 44 years in that blue uniform, out of touch, doesn't get it, doesn't understand that this is the new reality and it's all just going to be fine.
I have no moral worries, no religious compunctions that marijuana is the devil's weed, is evil and all that.
The devil's weed.
My job is to keep people safe. That's my job. And I worry that people are going to be less safe in my city. The city I'm responsible for.
KMK says, while I handcuffed on the curb.
Get access to marijuana.
Easier for sure. As Colorado has its marijuana moment, drug experts are having a moment of their own.
About 10% of users of marijuana are likely to become marijuana dependent.
Coming up, the teenage brain on pot.
Marijuana makes you dumber.
It's not the way to study for your physics exam.
That story.
Yeah,
We come back.
well, why would you be in high if you're doing an exam? I don't think you should be smoking anyway while you're in school or any kind of school, college, high school, public school, whatever. Don't be smoking while you're in school. Come on now. Or at least on your off time. Not while you're studying though.
To finally get some legal marijuana. You can see the line. Everybody's just so excited for this.
Can't wait. This is definitely, Colorado was the first state to actually legalize freedom.
Legalize freedom!
If you're looking for a villain or a hero in the liberalization of marijuana laws in Colorado, it's this man, Mason Taverna.
Our goal is to end marijuana prohibition.
For the last decade, he's been the public and provocative face of legal weed, like here on Headline News.
You do admit that
Yeah,
it's
so is
addictive.
sex, so are video games. The thing is that
Well,
you just
I
you do
disagree
not
with
like
you.
the people that use marijuana.
I disagree with you.
You just don't like people who use marijuana, and you want
I disagree with
wake
you.
up and think of marijuana being illegal was crazy, and now things just seem a little more sensible.
Did you think this would all happen as quickly as it has?
As the communications director of the Marijuana Policy Project, Tavert has been a master of savvy marketing and mischievous self-promotion. He used those skills to turn what was a stoner's pipe dream into an issue of freedom and fairness.
Really?
I'm sure there are people who look at you and say, that Mason Tavert is public enemy number one. He's this
Public
Mary
enemy
prankster,
number
and he's
one.
ruining our country. Are you that guy?
I'm confident that I'm playing for a team that's doing the right thing.
Oh, I hope so.
And fortunately, most Americans agree that I am, so I'm perfectly comfortable with that.
Okay.
We think the writing is on the wall.
Along with others, Tavert identified
We'll
a
see
clever
about that,
argument,
won't we?
and he sold it brilliantly. Polls showed that people who believed pot was less harmful than alcohol also thought it should be legal, so he pounded the comparison.
The notion of prohibiting the use of marijuana while allowing and even encouraging the use of alcohol is not rational on any level of government.
He even compared the two in a challenge to then Denver Mayor John Hickenlooper.
He said, hey,
Yeah,
we'll meet you at high noon in front of the courthouse and bring your drug of choice, and we'll bring some marijuana, and we'll see which one actually is more harmful.
Oh, yeah.
Hickenlooper did not show, but the media did.
Of course not.
Found the stunt irresistible.
Of course the media would.
For everyone's entire life, they've been told marijuana is a bad thing that should not be used by anyone.
Yeah, we're almost done with this podcast.
And we've seen people getting over that mindset and starting to recognize that marijuana is not as harmful as we were once led to believe.
Okay.
John Hickenlooper, now Colorado's governor, says legalizing pot is a big gamble.
I opposed, and most elected officials in Colorado opposed Amendment 64. You don't want your state to go it alone and do something that's never been done before and immediately become the butt of late night comedians on TV.
Stoners took a moment to thank Governor Hickenlooper. Then they spent a few hours just saying the word Hickenlooper.
Hickenlooper.
That kind of branding where people start saying, oh, you got to
Hickenlooper.
That could be terrible for us.
Are you concerned that Colorado becomes known as the stoner state?
You know, we've had 3 new Fortune 500 companies, global headquarters here in the last 4 years. We're very proud of that. Some employers are going to, think twice.
So these are the 2 cabinets we have for recreational.
The governor is acutely aware that being the first on this path means his state has no blueprint to follow.
I think most of us recognize that this is going to be one of the great social experiments of the next century.
It really is an experiment.
It is.
Wow.
I spent 16 years in the restaurant business, and it's like opening a brand new restaurant. But just opening and having a great first few weeks, that doesn't mean the restaurant's going to succeed.
There are plenty of worries that highways will now be crowded with people who are driving high, and that legalization will not mean the end of illegal
I don't know
pot sales.
about that.
We spoke with one dealer in Boulder who did not want to show his face. He says business
We gotta
is
stop right here for a
actually
minute. Take a
good.
break.
Quite good.